I understand that the government has also issued what hit the media the most is the price stabilization programs, aiming at reducing the impact of inflation in the sector and also focusing on promoting very low-cost generics produced by state-owned enterprises. What are your thoughts on this?
I would say this is a topic where I would say not only the local but also the multinational are all struggling. When you import your product in US dollar and you sell it in dong, or when you produce locally with active ingredients you are buying in US dollar, I mean, automatically your cost of goods, your costs are increasing if you do not have any increase of your pharmaceutical products. So, you know, in the last 18 months, we had 4 devaluation of the Vietnamese dong versus the dollar, representing 21% decrease of the dong versus the dollar. And at the same time, we had almost no increase of the pharmaceutical products. So for sure, there is an issue in terms of business model, and I think this is not sustainable on the short, mid, and long term.
The MOH has also released plans to increase domestic market share from 50% in 2010 to about 80% in 2020, which is a very ambitious goal.
Yeah.
How will that impact your operation here in Vietnam?
Yeah, it's clearly an ambitious goal, but I believe I am in favor to have more, I would say, products locally produced. I would say it's not only to produce pharmaceutical products. What is important is to produce it at the very high level of standards. And I would say
investment from from state-owned enterprises or domestic enterprises.
I see that the state-owned companies are investing in production, but I would encourage also that the multinational are thinking to localize the production in Vietnam.
Would you say multinational companies being able to capitalize on the domestic growth from the domestic manufacturers through any form of cooperation or?
We see in the last months and years some cooperation with between multinational and local companies. There are not a lot for the time being, but I believe this will be the trend in the future to have more and more cooperation. Yeah.
So we can say that there are opportunities here in Vietnam in the sector for new investors.
I think, yeah, okay, to come back to your original question, I would say yes, of course, there are some opportunities.
But I believe that there are a lot of challenges as well, and you're very passionate about it.
No, of course, yes, on one side you have opportunities, but you have to be very well aware of the challenges. And yes, the Vietnamese market is a challenging one, with a lot of regulation and with a lot of need to adapt this regulation. But I think that the authorities are well aware of it.
Let's talk about the challenges in details, and let's begin with pricing, because I think pricing has been a very hot topic lately. I understand that upon application of circulation of pharmaceutical product, you are required to declare prices based on the product's CIF price and the prices of competitor or neighboring countries. Is that a challenge for you?
For me, the real challenge is that you have a price control, and we have not been able to increase our prices. This is the biggest challenge, and in fact, a challenge in terms of business model. If you cannot increase your price in Vietnamese dong, you import your products in dollar. You understand that your margin are decreasing year by year and month by month, and that you do not have a sustainable business model. For me, the biggest challenge is clearly the fact that we have not been able, or almost not been able, to increase the price of our products. And what we are requesting, Pharma Group and the Eurocham, is to adjust the price of our products according to the devaluation.
I also understand that the Drug Administration of Vietnam has opened pilot programs to limit profits on certain classes of drugs here in Vietnam. How do you cope with that?
So for the time being, if I take our group Sanofi, we are not really impacted by this one. It's still a pilot. For me, what is important is the quality of the product. And I would say all the multinationals are providing a high quality product.
But the limitation on profit would present a challenge for you in terms of increasing your...
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's, we need to see that most of the company are clearly seeing Vietnam as big potential and opportunity, but it's clear that there are some challenges in terms of profitability, especially.
Would you say this pilot program being adapted on a broader scale at a later stage?
I hope not. I don't know.
Let's talk a little bit about intellectual property, because it's a big issue for you as well, I think.
It is.
And you've got the NIOP, which is the National Office of Intellectual Property, and then you've got to apply for visa decision from the MOH as well. And I understand that from a recent circular, which is Circular 22, issued by the government, for any cases of IP infringement, the MOH can only reverse drug visa decisions if the NIOP or the related agencies has confirmed infringement. So if you are to say an infringement case in the market, what would you do as a pharmaceutical product?
Yeah, this is a very important point. This is also a challenge for us, because we have a lot of infringement of trademark, especially. Okay. So basically, we have a lot of our products with, I would say, copy-paste of the name or the packaging. So what do? We are working through an agency authorized by NOIP, if there is a case. So we collect evidence. We are working with the agency authorized by NOIP, and then these documents are transmitted to DAV, to the Drug Administration of Vietnam, who is taking the decision either to take an action or not. Action can be a change of the name of the product, change of the packaging, or withdrawal of the visa of the company.
What's the result of your application to reverse those so far?
So it's always a very long and difficult process. So I would say most of the time, what I would say where we need to improve, where the authority we need to improve, is to speed up the decision. Because between the time we work with the agency authorized by NOIP and the decision of DAV, it took a long time. This is also a problem between different ministers, where you have NOIP and MOH. And I would say there is a need to speed up decision.
So far, you have not seen the speed up of the process as yet, and you're hoping that to happen.
Exactly. So far, I have not seen that it has speed up, but I do hope it will be the case.
I've also read your report or your white paper issued by the European Chamber of Commerce, and you've raised concerns over data exclusivity in Vietnam. Can you discuss a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we have there is a decree, a circular authorizing a data protection of 5 years, which is a good step in the right direction. Yeah. But what we see is that the application, so it's not an automatic one, so you have to apply for it. So again, it's a long and difficult process, and it's not automatic. So it's what we are requesting on the data protection on 5 years is to have it on automatic. Exactly.
Now, after 5 years, you have to reapply.
Yeah, if you want to have a protection, you have to apply for it. So normally, what we are asking, it should be automatic. And we have also some other barrier if we want to introduce new products on the Vietnamese market. Yeah. For what we call new chemical entities, if the product has been in other market less than 5 years, there is a need to do local clinical trials, which take time and which will delay, I would say, the introduction of the new product, which is for me not good at the end for the Vietnamese patient. So there is a lot of market access hurdles.
Okay, so we've got challenges in terms of pricing, in terms of market access, and IP, I believe. Yeah. Have you seen any other challenges in Vietnam being an operator here?
Yeah, so the other challenges I mentioned before is import rights. The fact that we need to go through a local importer to import our products. So this is clearly, and the fact that if you want to be an actor in Vietnam, you can only have a rep office. So you, despite I would say the WTO commitment from January 2009, which is still a big hurdle here in Vietnam, but I have some hope that it will change soon.
You have hope. That's
I have
great.
hope. Yes, of course. Otherwise, I will not be in Vietnam.
If we have a key message to the international investing community, who is our audience at the moment, about the pharmaceutical sector in Vietnam and the growth of the sector, what would be your key message?
We are in a young country in Vietnam with a lot of potential. Yes, we are still at a low basis in terms of, I would say, infrastructure, in terms of expenditure per capita. But this is why also there is a lot of potential. So I believe there is a lot of potential in Vietnam. And what I would say also is when you are in Vietnam, you are meeting passionate people with a lot of energy, with a lot of ideas, and to move forward. And this is why I like to be in this country.
Thank you very much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you very much.
Market opportunities certainly present themselves very clearly for the pharmaceutical sector in Vietnam. However, as discussed with our guest speaker today, there lie numerous challenges in various administration and operational areas, especially in pricing, IPR, market access, and distribution. I hope that the show has presented valuable insights into the sector. If you have questions for the show or for Christophe, please send them to fay@insidevietnam.com.vn. For past episodes and show updates, please visit Inside Vietnam on WordPress, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Before we end the show, I'd like to thank Molly Hartman O'Connell from Browse Legal for her contribution to the legal content of the topic. My name is Phi Nguyen, and I'm your host on Inside Vietnam. I hope that our transparent and practical points of view on the opportunities and challenges of the sector will bring you closer to Vietnam. Bye for now, and see you again in 2 weeks on VTV4.